Well, that playoff loss still hurts a lot, but we do have to move on. We'll take a look at our finalized numbers. The top line carried us, certainly. Artemi Panarin was pretty good. Depth scoring was a problem, though. It was a problem. Kasperi Kapanen, Dmytro Timashov, Nazem Kadri, Dubois, they just weren't good enough. End of. If we had that bit of extra secondary scoring, we probably would have been okay. Defensively, Mark Giordano sucked. He really did, no matter what we tried. And that's the danger of course, trading for somebody, is you never know when they're just going to be like, I'm not going to show up. And Gio didn't really show up. Goalie-wise, we know McBride's numbers are going to look worse than they actually were. He was pretty damn good, man. But unfortunately, those last two games are what he'll be remembered for, especially that Game 7. Hammond stepped in, did the best he could. Unfortunately, he got charged with a loss. But the Lightning move on, and we get ready for... could be another interesting offseason. We still have 4 first-round picks. I'm not sure how bad a lot of the picks are going to be. You know, there's a chance it could actually be half decent for us, really. But, oh, man, to make it to the second round was quite the accomplishment for this team, but we could have been so much better. The Los Angeles Kings have won another Stanley Cup. Jesus Christmas. They just don't stop winning. That is their second time in 3 years, and their 4th time in the decade that they have won the Cup. They beat the Penguins in 7 to do it. It is another championship for the LA Kings. They win yet again. Take a look at their team here, too. Led by Anze Kopitar, Drew Doughty, Toffoli. Oh, there's a glitch there. Toffoli, Jeff Carter, Nick Shore, Spencer Watson. Son of a bitch. Matt Martin was on that team, too. And in goal, you already knew, Jonathan Quick, .936 save percentage. They do it again. In terms of the player awards, Tyler Seguin wins the Art Ross. Hart Trophy to Tyler Seguin. The Norris. When did you learn how to play defense? Tony D'Angelo. Thought the only defense he played was on Twitter, on a burner account. Lady Bing to Tyler Seguin. The Calder to Alex Nylander. That hurts. Conn Smythe Trophy winner again is Jonathan Quick. The smirk shows he knew it was coming. The Vezina winner, Devin Dubnyk. The Selke winner, Patrice Bergeron. Ted Lindsay Award to Tyler Seguin. And the Rocket Richard to Tyler Seguin. But you know who we don't have? We don't need him. You know who we do have is Louis Eriksson. As the Providence Bruins ended up ending the Manitoba Moose's streak of Calder Cups, Nick Patan was the leading scorer of the AHL. He was also league MVP. Your top goal scorer, I believe that was Max Rupert, former Leafs prospect. He was also the top rookie. The top defenseman, Jordan Subban. Wow, so D'Angelo went from the Eddie Shore Award to the frickin' Norris in consecutive seasons. That's actually really impressive. The best goaltender, Andrei Makarov. And your MVP of the playoffs, Zane McIntyre, because damn it, he was good at the time. For those who don't know the story, I rated Zane McIntyre decently well as a prospect because he was a good prospect at the time. And a lot of people are just like, hey, remember when you rated Zane McIntyre highly? I do, because he was good. Fuck. Anyway. Now that the season's over, we'll have progress reports to look at. Which, again, I love that the progress reports actually fucking mattered. Let's take a look at improvements. Brooks Orpik dropped down to a 73, but his contract's up. Jens Locke up to an 82, playing like an 84. +2, +3. Oh, boy. Not too much growth for guys that were already here. Freddie Gauthier didn't get much better. Riley, I mean, got to a 97. What about in the system? This is where we need to see the growth. +6 for Zadina. +7 for Vesalainen. +3. A +4 for Nolan Patrick. +4 for Deacon Poot. +3, +3, +2, +3, +4. Okay. Not bad. A lot of +3s, some +2s. Nobody with that super crazy player growth or overall growth, but good, steady, general improvement. Mitch Marner didn't get any better whatsoever. That's a little bit scary. That's a little bit scary in regards to what we need to do with Mitch Marner. But we'll figure that out here as we get closer to the drafts. Obviously, it doesn't tell us player retirements or anything like that, but that's okay. Marner probably has hit his limit, yeah, which is a little bit scary. But to the draft, do we have lottery luck? Not really. 10th overall, 15th, 18th, 20th. Where our picks reside. As Duncan Keith has retired, good riddance. So let's take a look then at some player trade value to see if there's any moves we want to make. In terms of the goalies, Ian Scott, McBride, Hart. Actually, really quickly, do the Hurricanes want to trade the pick? They do. But man, iPad, Jesus Christ, son. Jesus.
We're doing this again.
Did you have like a great Aunt Helen that passed away and you got an inheritance?
Taste the biscuit.
And you're wasting it on a Twitch stream? Don't get me wrong, I'm appreciative, but man, what is the occasion? You seriously went from no gifted subs earlier tonight to 40. The drug money hit.
Taste the biscuit.
I'm gonna continue to ask if you're okay. Because you have people that give subs all the time, and it's like, okay, you know, they're used to it. Not everybody's just like, take the money. Except when you get married and you have great friends. 2 weeks worth of ref money, no big deal. You making the...
Taste the biscuit.
Is Eye Patch Guy Wes McCauley? Have we cracked the code? Is Eye Patch Guy Wes McCauley? 2 weeks of ref money. Fucking 5 minutes for fighting! Fucking, okay, Wes, I see you. Turns out Wes McCauley isn't a douchebag. He's actually very nice. Oh, fuck, man. Well, again, seriously, I cannot thank you enough for the generosity. It is greatly fucking appreciated right now. God damn. Toronto Maple Leafs legend, Wes McCauley.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of
You wouldn't believe how much they pay soccer refs to referee games for 14-year-olds. Apparently not. I'm in the wrong business. Fuck me.
Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
I'm in the wrong damn business. Well, there you go, everybody. You want to make the big bucks. Referee high school athletics. Technically, could be middle school.
Taste the biscuit.
Christ.
Taste the goodness of the biscuit.
Anyway, what the hell was I doing? Potentially trading for the first pick, right? That's what I was doing.
Taste
Maybe.
the biscuit.
Is it worth trading up?
Of the biscuit.
These drafts have been shit. Is it worth trading up? All the real players are gone, too.
Taste the goodness
There is a goalie in the top 5. Nick Marlowe. I don't know what the hell our scouts do, though, all year long.
Salute you.
We're doing this again.
I don't know if it's worth trading up. Let me double check our prospects and trade values here. I mean, we do have a bunch of firsts, so maybe it is. God damn. It would cost parents more to get a babysitter than pay a ref. Fair. Fair. True. True. Criminy. Criminy, criminy, criminy. All right, well, now that I've been completely thrown off my game, it's probably worth flipping Mark Giordano, isn't it? So maybe we do try to pull off this trade, and we use Gio as the basis for it, given that he wasn't all that good for us in the playoffs. He had a bad regular season, too. So if we can cash out and not have to deal with that contract, that'd be pretty good. Mark Mathot was on an expiring deal, so we won't be able to flip him. Look at the value for guys like Timoshoff and company. On the left, Marner's value has started to drop a bit. It's not bad, but it's not amazing. And we have obviously like Nolan Patrick. I think from there we could just use draft picks. But yeah, I think given the Geo trade value, it does just kind of make sense to say screw it and go for it. That's not going to be enough. I just wanted to see if they would reject the idea of trading for Mark Giordano, and that doesn't appear to be the case. There it is, Mark Giordano and 2 second-round picks to the Carolina Hurricanes for the first overall pick. Not a bad bit of business for us here in Leafland, even if this player doesn't end up being that good. So, it is true that there is Nikulin, who's a high 4, but we could easily trade up to make sure that we get him. The problem is we don't know much about the players here. There's Maxim Zhikov, 18-year-old sniper. Maurice Sauve on defense, who we know nothing about. Nico Numelin. Nick Marlowe, the 19-year-old high starter goalie. Apparently time scouted 0, though. And John Caffrey out of Denmark, who played in Liga. It is true, like trade Giordano to get Sauve and get a defenseman in the mix. That is a possibility. That is a possibility right there. But obviously, you see a goalie in the top 5, and you have to be intrigued, right? I'm going to leave it up to you guys. We don't necessarily need a goalie because we have McBride, but I'll leave it up to Chad on this one because I'm good with either. Do we want to take the defenseman Sauve or the goalie Marlowe? What do you guys think? Like I said, I think either way, it's a justifiable decision. Do we take the defenseman to directly replace Mark Giordano? Or do we go for Marlowe, who's a goalie projected in the top 5, which means he could be pretty damn good? And chat does not seem to be sold on the goalie, which is fair. Looks like it's going to be Sauve on the vote here. Yeah, I think we can call that. Fair enough. All right. Pretty straightforward. Maurice Sauve, then, the 18-year-old from the Sherbrooke Phoenix, will be the Giordano replacement. So we'll see if it's worth those 2 second-round picks to get him, but I feel like... And that's true. We do have Ian Scott. That is true. So we'll make Maurice Sauve. If that's correct, then that was a very good decision, wasn't it? All right. Let's follow along here. Ottawa with the... Why, God? Why? Oh my God. Okay. This draft has done nothing but just repeatedly kick me in the balls. I don't think you guys made an inherently wrong decision, but God damn it. Just God damn it. If he's actually a franchise goalie, oh, just throw up the Danhausen. Well, you know what's funny about that? You know what's funny about that? Speaking of Danhausen, I'm a fucking loser. We the wife and I went to the store today to look for a couple of different gifts. A friend of ours, they have a daughter that's turning 1 tomorrow. So we went to, you know how difficult it is to find a 1-year-old a birthday present? It's not that difficult. It's fine. We were looking at like Christmas stuff in the toy aisle. She got noticed by 3 of her students while we were in that toy section. And then for shits and giggles, I said, I'm going to go look at the wrestling action figures. And she saw something that I didn't. And she's like, well, we have to get it. So we bought Danhausen. I am a 29-year-old, recently married man who bought an AEW action figure of fucking Danhausen. No regrets, damn it. And it was my wife who said, well, we have to buy it. So, there you go. Let's see who Edmonton takes third overall. A medium elite playmaker named Caffrey. I can't believe that goalie was a franchise guy. I sent a fucking picture to Sin, and Sin laughed at me. God damn it. Boston at 4 takes Numelin. Okay, well, good thing we didn't take him. Vancouver at 5, Zikov. Okay, so here's the thing. We did make a good choice. Defenseman or goalie, we did make a good choice. Obviously, the goalie at a franchise level would have been great, but it's all right. There is that other guy, the high 4. That was interesting. There's also an exact 4 in McIntyre, but Nikulin, another defenseman. I think it would be a mistake to not get this guy. Apparently, this guy was scouted in Russia 7 fucking times. Shout out to Antonio for the follow, by the way. Welcome in. Do the Flyers want to trade this pick? They do, so I think we can trade up and get this other defenseman. Let's go ahead and use the Dallas first, which is the latest one. Do we have anybody else to use here? Again, the good news is we have Ian Scott. Close to a franchise goalie as you can get. It was still the right decision to take a defenseman. We don't know how good he is yet, though. Is there anybody else who's an obvious shout to use in this trade to get it to go through? You could argue Kasperi Kapanen or Christian Vesalainen. Honestly, Mitch Marner. He really has kind of capped out at that rating. He's 22. The only argument would be play him at the NHL level to hope his overall goes up drastically. But Nick Deacon Poot, 65 overall, 20 years old. It's a great name. Is the Dallas first and Deacon Poot enough to trade up? Not quite. I just don't really want to give up Marner, but I don't really see how he's going to make it into the lineup, you know? What if we use the trio of lower picks? Still no. Quite far off, it says. What about the trio of 4th rounders? All right, we're further away from this going through than I'd prefer. What about the 2/3 that we have? That goes through. So a first, 2/3, and Nick Deacon Poot for the 6th overall pick, where we will look to take this defenseman. Was it Sergei Nikulin? It was Sergei Nikulin, and hopefully this guy is great. The alternative is George McIntyre, but his ratings don't look as good out of the gates as Nikulin's. We don't know anything about Preston Brennan or Jacques Bellefeu, so we'll go for Nikulin. Low elite's always a pretty good potential. That was Alex Nylander's potential. Hello. I do think this is shaping up to be a hell of a draft for us. Is there anybody else potential-wise in the first round? This guy's an exact top 6. The grades are okay, but not amazing. I don't know if it's necessarily worth trading up for him. High 9. The guy's got a decent shot. Peltonen. Another top 6 in Duncan. Another top 6. This one a grinder in Hoyles, but he's got very bad physicality. Okay. I don't think we necessarily have to trade up. It wouldn't be the worst idea, but I think we're okay. See, the Rangers take Bellefeu. Florida took McIntyre, so we definitely got the better of the defenseman. Oh, shit, we have pick number 10. I forgot about that. I thought I traded. Well, it makes sense to go with one of the guys with the really good potentials. There is still a guy who was projected top 10. Another defenseman, Melvin Boyd. We know nothing about him, but that's the guy to take. He could be anything. He could even be an exact top 6. Whoops. But we're going for Melvin Boyd. Apparently Rick Nash was just traded too. Yeah, let's go for Melvin Boyd. High 6? Okay. That's an interesting one. I don't know how good high 6 potential was in this game. Medium. Ooh, that was one of the guys that said was good, wasn't it? Reefers. Duncan. Now we have pick number 15. I'm a little bit afraid of these picks, actually. It's either Silverthorne or Peltonen. Yeah, the guys that were listed as exact top 6s apparently weren't, according to the draft screen. I don't know what to believe. I think we should take the forward. Let's go for Pat Silverthorne out of Switzerland. I mean, if these potentials are accurate, this is turning into... Oh my god, we have so many picks. This is turning into a pretty good draft for us. Our luck might be out. Peltonen is still there. Do we go for Peltonen or do we trade the pick? I'm leaning towards trade the pick. It's our last pick of the first round. And I can't help but think there's going to be a prospect out there who would be better for us to get with the value of this pick. Is that Brad Lambert? I doubt it. I did see the B Lambert, but I doubt it was Brad. I could go back and check. Carolina's already trying to trade Gio. I think they realized they got fleeced. What do you mean Dallas isn't trying to trade Tyler Seguin? Isaac Lundstrom. All right, I'm not seeing any amazing prospects. Montreal had Ostap Safin. The Safin. Bunny, take it easy. Thanks for hanging out, as always. We'll see you tomorrow. Urho. Looks like Montreal's our best bet right now, except for Michael Rasmussen in St. Louis. Never mind. Looks like we're going to be able to add Michael Rasmussen. Drafted by the Blues. We'll give up that pick. Oh, yeah. There's value to spare, too. Let's see if we can get picks for next year and maybe this year. Quite far off. What about just the second? All right. Let's look for 2/3. What about 1/3? All right, we'll take that. We trade the, 20th overall pick? The 15th? 18th. For Michael Rasmussen in the 3rd, I think that's a pretty good deal for us, to be honest. We'll sim to our next user pick, which is way down the road in the 3rd round. But we can go back through just to see if there was, in fact, anybody good on the board. Peltonen was a medium 4. Terrell, we had no information on Terrell whatsoever. We had no information on Scarlett either. So there were some good players to find, but they were never... I can't look at that dude's first name. There were never names that we were considering taking. At this point, I'm just intrigued if there's any hidden elites or anything like that. Our scouts were too busy napping. Our scouts were hanging out in Russia, man. No Russian, no want. That's a good pick for Buffalo with Baldwin. What about in the 3rd round? Quality of the draft may have indeed dropped off. Medium starter goalie for Chicago. 3 out of 4 picks for Philly. Jesus. All right. Who do we have in the 3rd round? Anybody of interest? Doesn't really look like it. What do we have on known potential? We do have an exact 4 enforcer in Smolinski. I would have to think he's a low 4. Then there's another goalie, Hellenius. But you know what? We're going to go for him. We're going to take the enforcer, Robinson Smolinski. From the Owen Sound Attack. Low 4. Nailed it. Peyton Krebs to Vancouver. Is that a thing that just happened? Is that a thing that just happened? I'm now intrigued. We're getting trades broken at 2 in the morning. Better not be saying that if nothing. I don't see nothing. I don't see nothing. You just throwing shit out there for no reason? Sorry, in the draft. Boo. Boo. It's definitely not Peyton Krebs either. Boo to you. Peyton Krebs getting traded is a realistic possibility. That's the problem. All right, let's see. There's the top 6 in Johnson. We'll take the goaltender, Hellenius. Thomas Hellenius. Low fringe. No, it was saying high fringe. We'll go for the high bottom 6. Rob Pow. Scouts are letting us down here with these later picks, unfortunately. We'll go for the hopeful guarantee of Russ Johnston from the Saginaw Spirit. Oh my God. Exact potential, he was not. Our scouts suck. Holy backup goalies. Christ. Well, we can get a monopoly on goalies, apparently. What if we take Tverdovsky, the sniper? Low 9. Looks like the rest of our picks are going to be goalies, and a frickin' starter just went off the board. Nikkei, good morning. How are you? All right, what do we got? We got Owen Foligno, Carl Ullman, Dmitry Tutin, and Sergei Kahesnikov. We'll go for the German. Let's go for Ullman. Low fringe, son of a bitch. We're going to take a lot of goalies and get absolutely nobody, aren't we? Oh, goodness. Nikkei, I'm doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. Excited for the start of a new season, of course. Oh, we got to go all the way back. Remember last year and everyone thought Buffalo was going to be an up-and-coming contender? I mean, they still... Well, contender is a strong word, of course. They're still up and coming. I mean, losing Tage Thompson to injury certainly doesn't help. But... we'll just keep taking goalies. I mean, based off of known potential. It's either that or I just take random dudes. Honestly, maybe that's the best way to do it. Dudes who are projected to be drafted that we know nothing about. Is there anybody like that? Looks like, okay, there's the unknowns. Let's go for the Swede. We'll take Bemstrom. Terrible. Okay, never mind. That's a bad strategy, apparently. Monday big games. I haven't even seen the schedule yet, actually. I need to look at that. Let's take the other Swede, Petterstrom, who is also terrible. Okay. The take unknown player strategy is a god-awful one. Let's go for another goalie. Party. Was high AHL starter. Ooh. I mean, that is a very interesting one for a few different reasons. Let's see. Pitkinen. Medium backup. Okay. Well, we didn't get too many interesting people in this draft, did we? I can't sort by any sort of trait or anything like that. Anybody with league interest? Let's take the centerman Lefebvre, who's terrible. Damn it. Boy, the whole idea of finding, like, late steals just doesn't happen. What about Christensen, the defenseman? Late steals just do not happen, huh? Damn. Yeah, no, that's a fair point. Oh, give me some sick video game music. The greatest video game song of all time. Daddy Mulk. Let's go for McHugh. Wow, you're terrible. All right, well, don't invest in late draft picks in NHL 16. It's not worth it. But we did trade Giordano and picks to get the first overall. We get a medium elite defenseman from the looks of it. We didn't get a franchise level goalie. Should have been nice in some ways, but not the most needed. Let's take a look at the team here. Let's see what we got from the goalie perspective. McBride's still looking good. Scott's still a high elite. He has to be signed. Boy, we got a whole lot of nothing with those goalies, didn't we? We'll pretty much be trading people out shortly. Defensively. Whew! Low elite at 19 years old and 80 overall for the 6th overall pick, Sergei Nikulin. That is a tremendous pick. Let's see, we got Boyd. Sauve is a medium elite, but he's only a 61. That's a pretty low overall for a 1st overall pick. That's a little bit concerning. On the wing then, Gauthier, Nylander. Yeah, it was Silverthorne. It was an okay draft, but not a home run draft. I don't think we can label it that. But there is good potential here in terms of team setup. Obviously, we got to qualify Matthews. Honestly, we can let go of Andreas Janssen and Lucas Sutter for now, just to see who's out there in free agency, because we do have to sign Nolan Patrick. I wish there was an option to lapse player rights. It would save so much time. Keep Kapanen. Keep Jens around. Keep Grundstrom around. Even Patrick Laine. Silverthorne can go straight to the AHL. Actually, let me double check centers. I don't think anybody outside of Patrick was worth it, and they weren't. Powell is terrible. McHugh. Then there's Zadina. Right wing side, we got to keep Gauthier, Nylander, Dimitro Timashov, Tverdovsky at a low 9. I'm going to say no to signing him. And Owen Tippett's at a medium bottom 6. We'll release Tippett. We got to keep Reinhart. We got to keep Nielsen. Move on from Mark Mathot despite the playoff goal. Keep Valiev. Sign Nikulin. Forsling can stay. Drop Andre Mazzaros. Drop Johnny Oduya. Boyd is an American, so I think we can get away. Unless they were on Saginaw. Sauve was Canadian, so we won't be signing them anytime soon. With all these RFAs, you don't need a cap wheel. Yeah, probably not. Probably not. And then goalie-wise, we'll let go of the Hamburglar. We'll let go of Bergvik. He wasn't that good. Got to sign Ian Scott. We can keep Liam Herbst around, too. But yeah, whole lot of RFAs. But having those RFAs gives us flexibility in free agency, should we need it. I still think we've been a little bit hit or miss with 1st overall picks. Who had the 2nd overall pick? I forget. Freaking look at the picture I sent this in. It was Ottawa. That's right. He was franchised. 68 overall at 19 years old. I'll be really intrigued to see how that guy develops. They signed him to a contract immediately, too, even though he's junior eligible. But yeah, franchise goalie. Went 2nd overall. It's funny because someone said, oh, he could even be Marc-Andre Fleury. And it's like, well, close to it. Freaking close to it. But all right, what do we have in free agency? Obviously, Matthews is ours. We won't really worry about RFAs because they're all our players. Yeah, like literally they are all our players outside of like a couple, like maybe Kessler would be interesting to go after, but he's a high bottom 6, so not really. UFAs. What do we got for goalies? Nobody amazing. Anders Nilsson, Scott Darling. Nobody great. In terms of potential, Joran Van Pottelberg. Also Zane McIntyre, the handsomest man. Logan Thompson's out there too. Van Pottelberg could be worth it. If we double check goalies. Right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. He would be our 5th. That wouldn't be bad. Yeah, I think Van Pottelberg will do the job. Get him into the system here. Although, in fairness, I am a little bit worried about... maybe this means Liam Herbst ends up getting traded. We'll see. Let's try to sign Van Pottelberg for now. Defensively, in terms of prospects, nobody great. Joe Gattenby is about the best that we're looking at there. There is this dude is a low 6. He's a 78 overall at 21 years old. Potentials are so weird in this game. Tyler Myers. Tyler Myers is out there. How many contract spots do we have? We have a lot of RFAs, so not many. Let's look at the forwards. Pavelski, Duchesne, Nyquist. What about prospects? Patrick Virta. Brisley, I guess. Okay, so there's a couple of medium 9s. And there's those high bottom 6s. So there's a couple of medium 9s. The best of the bunch, I'd argue, is probably Lindgren or Brisley, which isn't that bad. If we take a look at the... I think we're going to have to put a little bit more thought into this. Because if we sign like a Joe Pavelski or someone like that to help fill out the roster, that could push us over the edge towards winning a cup. Especially with all that cap space, all these RFAs, I think we need to lock in just who exactly we want on this team. You know, maybe it's a time like, oh, flip Pierre-Luc Dubois to get somebody really good too. I mean, there's some good options out there. But we had a pretty good draft given the circumstances. We just made the playoffs, second round. Feeling okay.